You know, I'm running for president because I think this country's in a lot of trouble. I think President Joe Biden has weakened America at home and abroad. Their open border policies have launched the worst border crisis in American history. And every city and town in this country is paying the price. An avalanche of humanity. And an avalanche of fentanyl that's claiming lives every day. Their war on energy has caused gasoline prices to go through the roof. Their runaway spending has created the worst inflation in 40 years. It's beset American families. And that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan has emboldened the enemies of freedom around the world. Now war rages in Eastern Europe. And now our most cherished ally has faced the worst assault on the Jewish people 1 week ago since the refounding of the Jewish state in 1948. If there was ever a time when New Hampshire was called upon to shape national leadership that would give America a fresh start back to what's always made us strong and prosperous, free, it is now. We need to decide here and now that Joe Biden will never be reelected as President of the United States. And I want to hear what's on your mind, but let me share with you my vision for the way forward. You know, I like to tell people I'm a conservative, but I'm not in a bad mood about it. Long before I was your vice president, I was a governor of a conservative state out in the heartland where, just like your governor here, we demonstrated that you can cut taxes, make record investments in education. You can balance budgets. That's what we did back in Indiana when I was governor. And how about a round of applause for Governor Chris Sununu and the job that Chuck Morse and all these state legislators who are here with us today. Thank you so much for your incredible leadership for taxpayers and families. But before that, you know, I was a leader in the Congress for 12 years. And this is one of those days I'm glad I'm still not in Congress. No, I was a House Conservative leader before it was cool. I led the House Conservative Caucus. I battled against the big spenders in our own party, and they almost all remember it. And I must tell you, I never imagined a day, on the worst day that I was battling big spending Republicans, that I would have ever partnered with Democrats to oust a Republican speaker. And the time has come for Republicans on Capitol Hill to come together, elect a speaker, and lead America again in the House. You know, after we left the White House, Karen and I moved back to Indiana. We bought 5 acres and a pond. We got a John Deere riding mower. Got a Ford Ranger pickup truck. I mean, our life's been pretty good. But when I saw the devastation that Joe Biden and the Democrats have wrought on our country, Karen and I reflected on that old Bible verse that to whom much is given, much will be required. And that's why I've stepped forward. Because when I look at this field of worthy men and women who are vying for your support here in the first in the nation primary state, I simply say with great humility, based on my experience in the White House, my experience as a governor of a successful state, my experience as a leader in the Congress, that I'm simply the most qualified and the most consistent conservative in this race. I know we can bring this country back, but it's going to require that the Republican Party lead on the foundation of conservative principles that have defined our movement over the last 40 years, which is a strong national defense, limited government, fiscal responsibility, traditional moral values. And if I'm your president, I promise you we will.